Good morning. What is going on? This is Richie Contartesi coming to you live from Baltimore, Maryland. Excited to be here. Excited to have a presentation tonight for a really cool company, and I'm really excited. I'll be posting videos and everything about that. But this video, I want to talk about how to build a book of business, what that looks like, why we even build a book of business, and kind of dive into it. And if any of you have any questions, make sure to write your questions in as soon as you have them. And then at the end of the video, I'll definitely make sure to get to those questions. So, building a book of business. What is building a book of business? So when I'm talking about building a book of business, and this is for if you're in sales, if you're an entrepreneur, this is really for you. Okay, so building a book of business, in my sense, is building a book of clients where you are pretty much set, where you have either passive income, reoccurring income, or you already know that you have clients that are going to need you and that are going to work with you. So everything else you do after that point is all like a big bonus, is all a plus. This is absolutely by far the hardest part. If you're in sales or if you're an entrepreneur, building a book is the beginning. Building a book is the prospecting. Building a book is going through all the failure, all the rejection, learning the market, learning the people, all of these different things that go into building a book of people. And everybody underestimates what it actually takes to build a book of business. People will say, oh, in a few weeks or a few months or a few, no. Building a book of business takes a lot. I mean, a lot of time. Like, most people just completely underestimate exactly what it takes. Like the amount of activity, the amount of how many emails, how many calls, how many networking events, how many conferences, how many actual interactions, right, that you need to make in order to truly build a book of business. And so for every industry, it's a little bit differently. But like when somebody hires a new salesperson, for example, they tell them that, oh, in the first few months or the first few weeks, you're going to be doing, getting all of these deals and doing. But typically, yes, you may get a few, but more than likely, it takes a minimum of 6 months to really get the ball rolling, and longer than that, year, 2 years, to really build a book of business where you have clients who know you, who trust you, who know you can get them the results that they want, and will call you when they need something. That is a book of business, if I can speak properly. All right, so what does it take? It takes time. It takes time, and it takes a lot. I mean, a lot of activity, and there's no way around that. Like whatever your activity is, whether that's emailing or calling or face-to-face, whatever you think you need to do, times that by like 5 or 10. And that's really what it takes. So how do we build a book of business? Number one, it's just activity. It's straight up, how many people can you contact per day? Whether that's email, phone, face-to-face. How many people can you see? How many people can you call? How many people can you email? It's straight up prospecting is what it is. It's qualifying and finding out if somebody has a need and you can solve their problem. Like that's straight up it. And when? Like every single day. Saturday, Sunday, days off. You should be out networking, right? Like any interaction that you make with any human being is prospecting. There's no way around that. I mean, if you really care, like if you really care about building a book, it's every interaction that you make. Now, obviously, it's not like you're selling in every interaction that you make. That wouldn't make sense. You're prospecting, and you're in a regular conversation. You're not like going through a script. But as you're having a human conversation, one thing I learned is that in every interaction that you make, do something to make that person's day a better day. Like, do something to make that person's life better. And as you're communicating with them, as you're talking with them, you learn about what they do. And then from there, you have a conversation and see if it's something that's necessary. So when do we do it? Every interaction, every day, with whoever we talk to. Obviously, that comes down to how much you care and how bad you want it, but that's what it is. So why do we focus on building a book of business? That's really simple. Like, if you can build a book of business in your role, in your position, whether you're an entrepreneur or you're in sales, you can create more freedom for yourself. You can create more freedom, right? Like, if you want to, like, I don't know if I would ever say myself, like, oh, I've got the freedom just because I'm on to the next thing and super excited and pumped. But, like, if you're in a position where, like, in your job, or if you're an entrepreneur, like, once you build up enough client base and you have enough social proof that you can actually solve the problem, then instead of you going out and prospecting, you're going to have more and more people coming to you. And that's the end result. That's why we build the book of business. So if you're in a role and you're thinking about, like, hey, in the first 6 months I haven't done what I wanted to, and all, that's because your expectations were wrong. Like, you thought you were going to be able to do something in a shorter period of time, but it's just not reality. It's just not true. So that's pretty much all I have. I'm just seeing here. I do not have any questions, but that's really all I have for this one, is really just building a book, what it actually takes, what it entails, and having the right expectations. Like, your expectations are usually wrong. Like, that's just how it works. You're usually wrong. And the ones that stick to it, the ones that keep going, the ones that can get through all of the rejection and not take it personally, or maybe take it personally because you need to learn from it, but who take the rejection and actually learn from that, those are the ones that become the top in their field, whether you're in sales or you're an entrepreneur. So I challenge you to fight through building a book if you're newer. Fight through if you have a new product or you're launching something new, and fight through it and find a way to have the courage to take the rejection, and have the courage to overcome the fear of failure, and have the courage to stop caring what people think and do it anyways, and just keep going, because eventually it's like a balloon. It's like when you, and I love this analogy a little bit. If you're blowing up a balloon but you don't know the size of it, you just keep going, and eventually it pops. And when it pops, it's an explosion. It's an explosion of business. It's an explosion of getting from where you want to go, or from where you are to where you want to go. So I hope this helps. Definitely subscribe if you want more videos like this. I don't have any questions, so I'm going to end it here, and hope you have a great day.